What's going on, everybody? So it is currently 11:10 p.m. on a Tuesday night right now, and I was just kind of doing some homework, scrolling through Twitter, and I just there's so much negativity right now, and there is a lot of pessimism about the Jaguars right now, which is extremely understandable. And I am one that has been right there being pessimistic and not positive and just overall frustrated with this organization. Just 2 years ago, we're all getting our Facebook time hops of us moving on to the AFC Championship game and Telman Smith breaking down the team and Jalen Ramsey saying we're going to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. And it was just such a high. And then obviously 2018 happened, which sucked. We came up with excuses that it was Blake Bortles' fault. The offensive line wasn't good. This, and that. 2019 was going to be better. But guess what? 2019 was not any better. We gave a lot of money to Nick Foles. We suffered another double-digit losing season. And we were taken back by a PR hit when it comes to Tom Coughlin. But, we're sitting here in 2020, and we received a promise from our owner just a year ago, basically saying that, look, I do not appreciate the results that we have, and this isn't going to be a standard for us. If this happens next year, there will be significant changes that will happen. But guess what? Significant changes did not happen. And only Tom Coughlin left. That's the only person that we're leaving. And, Tom Coughlin, you were literally forced to fire him. After the NFLPA came out and made that statement, no matter what Tom Coughlin did, you pretty much had to fire him if you wanted any shots to getting any free agents in here. And, really right now, for the Jaguars, it seems like there's almost a cold war going on between the fans and just ownership and like the business side of things. Shad Khan is a guy that I once thought was a great owner because, look, this is a guy that, kind of gives his keys to the GMs and gives them all the money that they need and say, look, go out and spend as much money as you want. And I will sign off on it to make this team successful. I will sign off on that. That is your thing. I'm not going to meddle in the business side of things, and I'm going to leave that up to you. And he's also done a lot when it comes to different stadium improvements and stuff, like bringing in new locker rooms. Obviously, the north end zone is pretty sweet with FanDuelville. They've got big jumbotrons. They added dog parks in there, which that's probably a bust, but whatever. And, all that, he's done some good stuff like that. He's been willing to drop money. But just him when it comes to kind of the fan interaction, I would say, and that PR side of it, it's not good. You know what I mean? Like, he isn't transparent at all. He only really speaks to the media, the Jacksonville media, once a year. And then every once in a while, you'll get him in, a news article talking to the Wall Street Journal, and he kind of throws shade at different things in there. It's just a really weird dynamic. And then Mark Lamping comes out there and I saw my buddy Jordan DeLugo put out a tweet. I didn't read whatever he was a part of, but he basically summarized a few different things. One is that local revenue isn't affected by wins and losses or whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but that contradicts a lot of what he said. I've watched a lot of State of the Franchises, and he said that, look, these numbers will improve once the team starts winning. But look, now that we're losing, he's backpedaling, basically saying, fans, it's all on you. You're the reason, this market is the reason why the team isn't doing good. It has nothing to do with the double-digit losses. Come on, man. I've seen the stadium packed when we're winning games. I've seen it exciting. The Seahawks game in 2017. The Bills playoff game in 2018. The Patriots game week 2 of 2018. All of those games were packed and loaded because fans had a reason to come to the game. Because they had a reason they could come and watch some good-ass football. But guess what? When you're going through these double-digit losing seasons, when you're playing stupid-ass games in December against the Chargers, when both teams are sitting there at, 3-9, and we somehow get our ass whooped by that team, Where's the incentive to come? Another thing is that, these games, like when you look at these different games to go to, it's like in week, the team is still alive in September and October. And in those months, the weather is hot as hell. And you literally have, the weather is so hot, it pretty much brings people that can't handle the heat in the stadium. I mean, I know a lot of people that, are either too old or maybe even too young that can't go to the games because they literally can't take the heat. And guess what? Once November, December comes around, when it's a lot nicer, the Jaguars, they're out of it. They're not in contention. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot less incentive to buy these season tickets if the stuff isn't good. And then like, they're talking about like how Lot J, which they're putting a lot of money toward Lot J. I think I saw a figure that was like $600 to $700 million or something like that. That's crazy because they're trying to spice up downtown, but that's taking priority over any kind of like shade over the stadium, similar to what the Dolphins have at Hard Rock Stadium. I mean, that would be huge. All you need is a shade, and then the river will blow in some wind for you. That I think that would be really big for the team. And another thing is that there is very much a chance to play 2 games in London, which that would suck. I mean, that really would suck playing 2 games in London. Hopefully, if the 2 games are there, it's like September and October games. So, at the same time, would I rather have a September or October game where we're still technically in it and we're not like way out of it? Or would I rather a November and December game where, I'm giving up a game with better weather, but the team's already out of it, so who cares? I don't know. It's really like a tug of war. I mean, it's a true tug of war on what you would really want. So, but here's my thing, man. If there's anything to be optimistic about, is that, as you guys all know, man, I am a huge Jaguar fan. I mean, I post Jaguars videos when, I live down here in Orlando and I'm posting Jaguar videos, and I do live game reactions. I post videos like crazy about the Jags. I mean, they're a huge passion of mine. But man, if the Jaguars were to ever leave Jacksonville, I would just be completely heartbroken. I really would be. I mean, that's really, if you're out there in North Dakota and you hear Jacksonville, you're probably thinking of the Jaguars, unless you have a Navy background. The Jaguars give us presence in Jacksonville. Unfortunately, it's a lot of almost negative presence just because the team is so damn bad. And, the team is what makes the fan base look bad. We're constantly having to defend ourselves about moving to London. And, if the day comes where we have to play 2 games in London, because there might be only 2 options, guys. It might be either we play 2 games in London or we don't have a team in Jacksonville at all. What would you rather have? I would rather have the 2 games in London. It would be embarrassing. Everyone would still call us the London Jaguars, whatever. But, God, that would be, man, just sitting here thinking about 2 games in London, that sucks. But, that's what's going to keep me, if all of a sudden you were to take going to Jaguars games away from me in my life, like if the Jaguars were announced today, much like the Rams or much like the Chargers, all of a sudden one day they get announced, boom, they're moving. It's not like the Raiders where they get a couple years, it's like, boom, they're moving. If I just heard the news today that the Jacksonville Jaguars are leaving Jacksonville, I would be so heartbroken. I would be so heartbroken that I'll never be able to go to a Jaguars game in Jacksonville ever again. I don't think that the team is moving, just because when you look at how much money the owner and stuff has invested into Jacksonville, and the more we hear news about like $700 million being invested into Lot J, the more we hear news like that, the more they're building a true infrastructure for, the Jaguar Stadium, the place that they play and the place around it. The owner wouldn't just put a bunch of stuff in there and dip. He's not a Jacksonville guy. He wouldn't just do that. But, I know it's hard times, guys. We're just going to keep pressing through. We're in this together. I mean, we really are. And hopefully there's greener roads ahead. We have 2 first-round draft picks. Hopefully Gardner Minshew can turn into something. We'll see what to do about Nick Foles' contract. I do like Doug Marrone for the most part. Obviously I would have liked, just for a new, fresh perspective, new GM to come in here, look at the roster, new head coach to take it in a new direction. Then at that point, I wouldn't mind being bad in 2020 because, they can have that year to rebuild and then we can start moving forward. But now with this, it's tough to see the direction of the team. What happened with John DeFilippo was really weird. I don't know if he was fired or if the guy just all out quit. And more so sounds like he quit. Like, when have you ever heard an offense coordinator quitting? That's what happens to us. Like, what the hell? It's a damn shame. But all right, guys. I just kind of wanted to make this kind of talk to you guys a little bit. I know it's a frustrating time, but hey, at least we have a team in our city. You know what I mean? At least we have each other. I've got 75. I don't even know. I think I'm at 7.5K subscribers. You know what I mean? Most of you guys are Jags fans, so we have a community here, guys. So with that said, go Jaguars. I'm out.